I'm so excited to chat with my friend Sara Garofalo today, welcoming her back onto the Awaken Feminine podcast. So, Sara is a certified intuitive health and life coach, a certified Ayurveda counselor, and she's also a coach in something called Room Essentials, which maybe she can talk a bit more about that whilst, during our podcast. And she's helping women to get to the root cause of their weight gain through our mind, body, soul transformation. I love that. And aligning the nutrition, mindset, and soul to break unhealthy patterns. And I know she has so much love and wisdom to share with us. She's joining me all the way from San Luis Obispo, California, in the USA. Welcome back to the show, Sara.
Thank you, Kaki. I am so excited. We were just, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. But before we jumped on the podcast, we were just saying that end of last year, I was like, I'd love to invite Sara back because I've just seen, the transformation that she's had. I mean, I've known Sara for probably around a year and a half. And, from when I know her to now, she's just exploded, and her energy is so powerful. And I went, I'd love to have Sara back on my show. And then randomly she messaged me and I was like, yep, we're doing this. We can't not do this.
No, absolutely. I know what you're saying. I was just thinking about you and how powerful you have transitioned, your transformation, your energy. And I was like, wow, we're on similar paths. So yeah, it's so cool to be here today with you. So.
Yeah. And we're actually going to be talking about a topic today. And I'm really excited because I love this topic. And it's all about manifestation and abundance, which is, my kind of thing, the things that I love to talk about. But Sara, I haven't asked you this question before, so I want to ask you this before we dive into the topic. I'd love to know, what is your definition of an awakened feminine?
That's a great question. So the definition that I would say when a woman gets awakened is truly embodying, like connecting, truly embody herself, and she lets go of all of the like limiting beliefs and energies that are not hers, that maybe like she's been nurtured with, and she fully steps into her power. And she's not afraid of that. Mm-hmm. And that's when you start, I feel like, to become more awakened. Like that's the power, like the light that comes within. And she's ready to take the clothes off, and the cloak off. And then she's just ready to be seen.
Yeah, I love that. And that really kind of summarizes, I think both of our journeys, where it's like we're just stepping into our power, into our truth, and just, pulling the cloak off and going, hello, here we are. Yeah.
And to not be afraid of that.
Yeah, totally. I love that definition. Thank you for sharing that with us. So let's jump into our topic. So our topic is, how to manifest abundance and really letting go of the energetic blocks that are, keeping us stuck where we are and stopping us from manifesting the life or whatever it is that we want to have. Can you share first about why you love talking about this topic so much?
Absolutely. I love this topic because literally for the past year, I have been working on this myself. And I have seen how powerful it is when you understand how it works, and how I've manifested money, relationships, and whenever I decided to. And I realized that it wasn't about what I was saying. It goes deeper. It's like a vibration that you send to the universe. And when you start to understand that everything is energy, and I was like, oh my God, I know how to shift energies because I do that with all my clients. Then I realized like, it's energy work that we're doing, And yeah, I've just really, really have done a lot of work around this.
I want to ask you, for our listeners who, don't really understand what shifting energy and what energy work is. What
Right.
does it look like?
That's right. That's a great question. In terms of the body or in terms of like patterns? Like
maybe you can talk on both, because I think it's important to understand the differences, or the similarities even, for shifting energy within your body, and also when we're trying to break unhealthy habits, or for even for manifesting, how, because that's the blockages.
Yeah. So for someone who is new to energy, I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you're listening to this, you may know more about energy that do you realize? Because if someone walks into a room, you immediately like step backwards and be like, "Oh, I don't like this person," or you might be like, "I'm very attracted to this person." And so that's how energies are powerful. How energies are so powerful, and they speak to us whenever we are around. Like if you're with a friend like me and you, right? There is a very like flowing, beautiful, amazing energy. But if I was sitting here with like my narcissistic ex, joking, but that's a total, like, you see, like my body would start to like feel like tight. And so how we shift that is by learning like how to protect yourself and how to let go of the energies that we are holding on to. Those you can do that by doing like meditations. You can do that by working with a energy healer. You can do that by cleansing yourself through food, or charging up the water and asking the water to like clearing all of the energetic buildup in your body. So there are different ways you can do this, but
yeah, I love that. I think, like you were saying, people don't realize that everything we feel, like our emotions, are energy as well. I mean, like you said, when you walk into a room, you already can feel the energy, but people make it seem like it's this woo-woo stuff, which it really isn't. It's just part of everyday life for us. Why do you feel like there's the gut feelings even, that's your body, the vibration, the energy telling you, hey, okay, something's wrong here, or, something's right here. There's that discernment sometimes whether that's right or what it's telling you. But it's just really cool to be able to understand that for people who are still, getting into the energy work, or going, oh, actually it's not that woo. It's actually quite normal, and we experience it in everyday life. I wanted you to talk about, Zara, if you don't mind. So, shifting the energy from our bodies, how does that help us to manifest what we want?
That's a great question. And how I would answer that is, again, if abundance is the energy, it's a vibration that you're sending to the universe, right? And when you work with energies, when you work with manifestation, you need to understand how to think of something that makes you feel good and happy. If you're like, well, I want to manifest the house of my dreams, but your energy is low, it doesn't work. But that's how we shift energies. Literally, the first thing you can do is, let's find a happy memory. And your energy goes like, whoop, like the first time I had ice cream, and that I laughed with my best friend. I mean, I remember those times. And so your energy shifts, and that's how you get into that powerful, like, abundance vibrational pattern that we need in order to manifest the things that we want, even if they're not here yet.
So you're saying that, to raise your vibration, we need to tap into a happy memory, or, so that we can feel it in our bodies. And then we, kind of concentrate or focus on what we want to achieve. So how can you, do you have to do this like 24/7 to keep that energy up? Or is it like, more like, okay, this is a little ritual that I'm doing daily so that I can feel all that, beautiful, loving, happy energy and focus on what I want? Because, our day ebbs and flows, or, things might happen. And then does that stop us from manifesting when, something that, may not be so good happening, and we're like, oh my gosh, is that going to affect me and how I manifest?
That's actually a great question, because life happens, and so you're going to find days where sad days, when you're like not feeling it. And how you do that is by shifting. Like, that's literally like shifting the energy means like dance around. Don't sit there too much in your head, and do something to either get into ice cold water, put on music and dance to shake it. Go out for a walk, call your best friend for support. So that's something that I would say. It's like, if you're in that energy, that it's a lower energy, then do something about it. And or talk general. So let's just say that you are wanting to manifest the man of your life, or the money that you need. You have a bad day, and so you're just telling yourself, I know it's coming. And so you're just putting it general, so that you keep that vibration high with your words. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's more about having this, even though you're having a bad day and your vibration not be as high as usual, to really be, have that knowing and putting it out there again to the universe, going, is coming, so that the universe can respond. Is that kind of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the universe is always listening.
Yeah.
If we speak, especially like with your feelings. So for people who are new to energy, your feelings, how you feel about a certain thing. And that's why we're going to talk about the blockages, because a lot of the times we might say we want something, but the feelings might not match that. So it's really important for people to be like, how am I feeling about this? And if I'm not feeling it that day, go general, shift the energy, go and dance, go out with your best friend, things like that.
Let's talk about blockages. You already touched on, you just saying that what someone might want to manifest and their emotions or doesn't match. Why, with, all the work that you've done with yourself and your clients, what are the usual reasons people's energy and doesn't match what they want?
All right. So the first blockages that I see is, I'm not good enough. So this is a feeling that might have started with your family, right? And that can be like with your family's success, or the things that your parents have told you when you were a child, like, no, you're not good enough. And it could be something simple, accounting money. You're not good enough in making pasta. And so you have a feeling that whatever you do, you can't make it. You're not good enough. And so that's stored in your subconscious mind. So that's the first one. But also the second one, it's very connected to that, because it's the self-worth issue. So like, I want to be successful. Everyone is like, I want to have $1 million home, or I want to have whatever it is. But am I worth it? Am I worth of building the empire? So it's a lot of like, And that's what I see the most is people say, I want these things, but deep down, they don't really believe they deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can resonate with the first two.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's so common. It's the major ones that I see when I speak to my clients, that they're not deserving and they're not good enough to experience that success or whatever that they want. So definitely.
Yeah. So the next one is fear of being successful. And can you share a little bit about your experience here? And I can share mine.
Yes. Fear of being successful is funny because this one comes up every time you're about to experience a shift. So for me, at the beginning, it was like, oh my God, what if I'm successful? And I'm thinking of how people around me will see me, and or how they might reject me. So for me, rejection is a big thing. I've worked through it a lot now, but the fear of success. So at that time, it was this. And then, you do the thing and then you've created success. And then as you move on, then is that next layer going, oh, well, if I do this, what would happen? So it's a constant thing, but working through it, it's actually understanding, okay, well, why am I even scared of this? This is exactly what I want. What is it? And like I said, mine was fear of rejection, of how people will see me, that I'm a different person and they don't want to be my friends anymore. But, that's just that's just stupid, to think that people will, reject you if you go on a different path. And I know from my experience, as I've shifted and changed, the friends that are meant to come with me have come with me, and they haven't changed their maybe they have changed their point of view of me, but it doesn't affect our friendship in any way. Or with my family, it doesn't affect. They just, at the beginning, they question you, but if you stand in your power and you go, this is what I want to do, this is me, they actually accept you, because you've actually already done the work to know that that's what you want. That's my experience anyway.
Yeah, I love that. And you're tying two things, like the fear of being successful and then what I call the relationship blockage of the fear of rejection, which I love both of them. For me, like the fear of being successful is, I think what we shared at the beginning, is being powerful. Like literally, what does it mean to get out of your comfort zone and finally like earning like 10, 20, 30K a month or more, right? If all you've known through your parents, or all of you've known was just maybe 1,000, or like low, let's just say like very low, like 5K. I'm just making this numbers up, but how does it feel to be able to be powerful and be like, I'm going to buy this, and I can make decisions without thinking twice. And relationship blockages. Yeah, I love that. That's one of the major, is feeling rejected, not feeling accepted by others.
Yeah.
And that was one that was actually stopping me from connecting with women, because I've always had a hard time growing up around women. Since a very young age, until I heal that part of myself. And that's what I do in subconscious healing sessions, where you either like are afraid to be rejected, or you've never been accepted. Maybe like girls picked on you.
Yeah. I think for me, the rejection part, this is something else that I've noticed, is when you have always met other people's expectations, but when you step into your power, you're meeting your own expectations, and the people around you go, oh, Kaki's not doing what I expect her to do. So It's that is that expectation that you put on yourself to meet others' expectations. That was one of my things as well.
I hear you. And I think that's stopping that cycle of like pleasing others.
Yes.
The people pleaser.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think as coaches and very empaths, right? We tend to be the people pleasers because we are so in tune with what others need that we don't put our needs first, because we're like, oh, this person needs this, and so you go and help them. Growing up, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me too.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you finally say no, I'm going to do what I want and what's in my life purpose, path, then people are like, what?
Yeah. You're not going to please me? What does this mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I said about the rejection piece. It was like, oh, if I do this, are my friends going to not want me anymore because I've always pleased them? But the people that are meant to be in your life that will help you grow, that aren't going to hinder your success, will come with you, and they will be there with you every part of the way. So that's just one thing.
I love it.
Yeah. I want to ask you, so far we've got, I think, 5 blockages that we talked about. So not good enough, not worthy enough, fear of success, the relationship, or maybe it's 4, people pleasing.
Yes. Yeah. And so 4 so far.
Yeah, 4 so far. I want to ask you, because, when people start doing personal development, it tends to be all mindset work, right? And for me, I used to believe that mindset work is the be all end all. But then I discovered that energy work needs to go hand in hand. There's only so much mindset work because your mind, you can only kind of trick your mind to change so much, because you're still holding on to all that emotional, energetic baggage. So what are your views on that?
I completely agree. Like, I am someone who, you tell me to do something, I'll do it. So I did a lot of mindset work, and I was like, it's still not happening. And then I started to dug deeper into the energy work, because you're right. You are still embodying at a deeper cellular level and energetic level those beliefs. And so the subconscious work and energy work are 2 things that now I offer, but I also receive whenever I feel I have a blockage around manifestation, around what I want to manifest.
Yeah. Can you maybe give our listeners some tips on, I know you mentioned a few things before about shifting your energy, but really being able to, the 4 main blockages that we're talking about, what are maybe 1 or 2 tips that you can give our listeners to really start shifting those energetically from the system?
That's so I've always what I tell people is you have to do more of going into, to me, that's my tip, meditation, inner child work, to shift those patterns. So let's just say that people understand the word pattern.
Mm.
Okay. So a good exercise could be, what is my belief? Okay, I'm not good enough. If I can remember, where did that start? And then I would say change during a meditation. Like, you can literally start to bring closure to that part of your life, talk to your inner child, and make her feel like safe and protected. So the more you work on that, the more the energy shifts within you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of inner child work, because a lot of people like, and it's not meant for everyone to being able to shift energies in the body. That's why we have light workers and healers, you know, but that's one thing that everybody can do, is to do more of what is my belief? Where did that start? And let me hug that child and start going into that part of myself. Yeah.
I love that, because a lot of our traumas and beliefs stem from, you know, before we're 7, like in childhood. And that's when things are really ingrained, and it plays out throughout our lives, even though we may not see it until we are older and start doing all that work. And, you know, like you say, like for a lot of people, myself included, even though, like for me, you can speak to this after to see if it's the same for you, even as a coach and also as a healer myself, I find it so much more powerful when I have someone clear me. Yeah, I've got all the tools and I know all that. And, you know, I keep myself nice and clear and fresh as much as possible. But, you know, sometimes it does get to a point where you're like, you know, I need a major clearance here, like, and I need to get someone to do it for me. And it's so much more powerful because, you know, when you're doing work on yourself, there are like blind spots, I find. Someone else coming in, they can go, hey, 𝐶𝐵𝐵, you said you were clearing. What about this? That's, you know, I probably didn't want to go into that. And that's why I didn't clear it. What's your take on that? What your experience on that?
It's so funny you're saying that, because that's exactly what I would suggest to anyone. It's like, you can massage your back as, you know, as best as you can, but then you're going to go to a massage therapist eventually, right? When your back hurts. It's the same thing. Like, you can clear and do the maintenance stuff, but you need someone else that will clear it without you getting into the way, because your ego, yourself, will still get into the way of your own healing. And if you go to someone else, that person is just going to see it and clear you, because she's not as involved as you are with your whole like life stuff, you know?
Yeah. They're not attached to the stories that you're telling yourself. Even though you think you're not telling yourself those stories, you're telling yourself those stories.
You are.
And when you tell yourself stories, then like what you're saying, the emotions come up, and then that's, you know, how the blockages are created. So it's just that constant awareness of how you're feeling. Yeah. Can you maybe talk about how people can be more aware of what they're feeling? Because a lot of people are not aware that they might be in this constant low vibrational state. You know, how can people build more awareness as to knowing what they're feeling in a particular moment in time?
Yeah. So one way you can notice that is, you know, asking yourself, and that's part of the mindful exercise. It's a practical exercise of checking in every day and asking yourself, like, hey, how does this make me feel? And just practicing and acknowledging your emotions without judgment. Because a lot of people don't do that because they're afraid of like, oh, I'm feeling sad. That's bad, right? So just practicing checking in with yourself and be like, how am I feeling? Yes, I am sad. I am mad. I am happy. I'm joyful. That will give you a little bit more self-awareness to then work on a deeper level. Another thing is to become aware. So people get this when I share this example is, okay, let's just say that you eat a food that was rotten, right? Or you're like food poisoning. how do you feel? Like you don't feel well in your body, right? So it's the same sensation, just it's slightly more challenging to detect a little bit, but it's the same feeling of you're in a low vibration state when you eat low vibration food. It's the same thing. Like it just brings you down. Oh my God, like I had indigestion last night. It's the same thing. Your energy goes down.
Yeah.
I ate this green wrap and a great, like, I don't know, whatever makes you feel good. And then you're like, I feel amazing today.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So people get it when I talk about food.
Yeah. I think people tend to get it when you talk about more physical things that they
Tangible.
tangible, things that they can see or feel. But like you said, it is the same with emotions. It's just a matter of actually taking the time to tap in. Whereas, like, with food, if you ate something bad, you ate something bad. And you don't need to tap in because your body just responds anyway. But with emotions, we're so busy doing everything else that we don't even bother to check. So thank you. That's a great tip, to just really just take time to check in is all you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy. And that leads me to, that's actually the fifth block is your energy is being dragged down by your health. It's something that people don't take into consideration when manifesting, but think about it. If you don't feel well, let's just say that you have digestive issues, you're battling with like weight, you are having an autoimmune disorder, whatever that is. I know, like inflammation, you don't feel good. That lowers your energy. Like think about like you are still in the body phase of like, I am battling this. And that brings you down. That brings you here. And when you're manifesting, everything needs to become more positive, lighter, and you need to feel good. You must feel good. So I believe this is one of the talking point that it's least talked about, but it's very important to take care of your own body and feel good.
Yeah. I want to ask you, because, you were talking about autoimmune diseases, autoimmune and inflammation. There's lots of people that have autoimmune and inflammation type diseases. And so it's like a chronic, I don't feel well and low vibration. For those people, how can they really raise their vibration if they are feeling sick from their disease? So
the one first suggestion that I would suggest, but I would ask them, are you on an anti-inflammatory diet? Like, are you really taking care of yourself? Because if you have an autoimmune disease, that's a no question, like, answer. You know what I mean? You must be taking care of your body. And I can't tell you how many times I meet clients that do not do that. And so that's one thing. Okay, take care, continue the path of an anti-inflammatory diet, take care of your gut health, and make sure that you eat quality, high vibration food, which is, I'm sorry, but it's not McDonald's, right? that can happen occasionally. I'm not saying don't eat McDonald's. I'm just saying, look, shift to a more higher like vibration and diet. One step is buy organic. Okay, you can't afford it. Can you buy the most the 12 items that are considered important to be purchased, organic? Can you introduce some superfoods to cleanse yourself, like turmeric, spirulina, chlorella, Like those are the things that I would do. And I was with a borderline autoimmune disorder like 3 years ago. So I know what that means.
Mm.
And the third thing is for people who have a border or have an autoimmune disease. I mean, that's actually a spiritual talk. But I would say, if your audience is ready to hear this, that's when your soul is not aligned with the life that you've created.
Mm.
And that was a truth that I had to face. And I was like, I'm not going down this path.
Yeah.
So body, mindset, and then the soul.
Mm.
Your soul will always talk, and then you've got to shift. And I believe you can reverse anything. I'm that believer.
Yeah.
So
same. I believe that as well. Totally. There's a book that I haven't read yet, but I've had it recommended so many times, is The Body Keeps Score. And it really talks about, everything that happens in our life and how our body holds on to that. And then it creates, or it manifests in your body as a disease of some kind. And so I really do believe that if you can, shift and actually really align with your soul and your purpose and, what your soul is craving for, it will reverse a lot of things. Not saying that, you don't need to have your conventional medications as well to keep you at bay. When, I just want to make sure people know we're not saying that. But as you do that inner work, you will find that you probably need those less and maybe even come off it, right? So it's not to go, hey, I'm going to align with my soul. I don't need that.
No,
don't do that. But really to understand that you can reverse it and not need those things anymore eventually if you actually do the work.
absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up, because I tell people all the time, like, we need Western and we need Eastern medicine.
Yeah.
But if you work on yourself, you're probably not going to need medication at some point, hopefully. But right now, don't get off of it, obviously. Like, don't do it. Like, keep doing it, but do the other work as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my pharmacist self coming out. Going, hang on a second. But it is, I just really believe that we really need to marry the two together.
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Sara, I love you to share with us just a few tips for people. We talked about the blockages the main blockages that people have. So 5 main blockages. And we talked about, shifting energy and how we can shift energy. Can you share maybe a practice that you use to help you manifest? So I know you mentioned like water and, all those kind of things, but what's your favorite way to manifest?
That's an awesome question, because how I do it is pretty much, I love to get to nature. That's my safe place. I mean, I can do it in my bedroom, but it's much more powerful when I go on a small hike. Doesn't need to be an hour long, with my headphones. And then I find a spot where nobody can see me. And then I put on music, and then I start dancing, and attracting. I'm like imagining myself that I am the attractor. So I'm like a beautiful angel, and then everything, it's in my vortex, which is like, if you think about planets, it's kind of like around me, and I'm grabbing those things which I want to manifest. And I connect the feeling of how I want to feel when I have that. So let's talk about relationship. Okay. So to give an example, like when you're manifesting the love of your life with love, how are you going to feel when this person comes? How do you want to feel? So I imagine I take like the relationship with my best friend, unconditional love, support, And then I translate it into, I want this in a masculine, like in a man.
Mm.
And so, yeah, the best practice for me is to go in nature, put on some music, start dancing, and I imagine things coming to me and me like living that life with that person, living that life when I have these things with my business, or with my family. So that's the one thing that I do pretty much every day.
That's beautiful. And I just had this image of you doing it, and I can see I can see you, just doing your dance and this like golden ball around you, and things are just coming. That's just so beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. For anyone that wants to loves connecting with nature and wants to bring in all the good stuff, what a great way to do it. It's
Thank you.
just such a beautiful way to do it. I'm just mindful of the time, Sara. So, thank you so much for coming on and having this free flow conversation with me about this topic. Is there anything else you want to, share with our listeners before we wrap up?
I would like to share for anyone who wants to start manifesting, again, do this every day and really connect it to a feeling. The feeling translates into a vibration, and the universe receive that vibration. It's not about the words you're saying, it's about the vibration that the universe receives. So
yeah,
that's the last piece, to seal it.
Yeah, to seal it. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your love and wisdom with us today, Sara. If people want to, work with you or find out more about what you do or who you are, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can go onto my website, loveholisticliving.com. I'm on Instagram, and I just started TikTok, which that's
I saw.
super fun. It's more for me to have fun, honestly, but yeah, it's Love Holistic Living.
Awesome. I'll have all your details in the show notes so people can reach out to you. Thank you, my love. I've just loved reconnecting with you and having this beautiful conversation with you.
Thank you, Kaki. That was awesome. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.